back.
The Star.
Yeah, y'all already know. Seven the Panther. That dude Fizz on the beat. Yeah. We live in entertainment. Sound change. Crown the kings, homie. This is where it get ill. About to have the tip off live as a tip drill. From the court to the diamond, to the track, to the big skin, flying around the field, starting five forever, keeping it real. If it matters in the world of sports, blue jeans and long sleeves, they taking no shorts. Hot to death, oh yes, these are the sports podcasts live as a pro's corpse. Biz market wave, the starting five goes off. No matter who you cheer for, emotions out the window, they analyzing with clear thoughts. They take it way deeper than the force ever. No longer got any use for the four letters. The latest news, score stats and the view from the sideline. Ain't no guideline, it's just the truth. Yeah, no need to dig for a pardon line. It's always in season if we can start five. We going in on three, run the baseline, start five. We got what you need. If the sports news you see, we don't waste time. We talking cause we live it. We got what you need. We going in on three, run the baseline, start five. We got what you need. And y'all know me, seven sign, I'm the illest cat spit. I got what you need.
A quick moment of silence for my fucking return back to Facebook. We back. Newest episode of the Star 5 podcast. You know who the fuck I am. Y'all should be missing me because y'all haven't been tuning into our YouTube page. But because I decided to make my return after 2 years, said might as well come back to the house real quick so you can see how much shit changed up. But TJ still light skinned. What up, good brother?
Yo, for the most part, I'm good, but my week started off really rough, man. Very close childhood friend of mine that I met, one of the first people I met when I moved to Mount Vernon from the Bronx, passed away earlier this week. Rest in peace to my man Lewis Allen and the whole Allen family. I'm real tight with his family and his brothers. Then another friend of mine caught a stroke on like Tuesday. I don't know what the fuck is going on out here. People are getting sick. People are dying. Another coworker of mine, her pops just passed away a week and a half ago. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? All this doom and gloom around me. But for the most part, mentally, I'm good. Went out to Brooklyn last night, did the Bark Barbecue. Excellent spot. They ain't getting no sponsors from us, but I'm just shouting them out because the food was good. The line was super long for that shit, but it was worth it. And chilling, man. I had a crappy day on the basketball court today. But, you know, exercise is exercise. Did a lot of running for no reason, I felt. But besides that, it's all in all, it's good. Looking forward to the last two holidays of the year. I got some time off coming up, so I'm going to enjoy that. I'm going to hand the man down to my boy, the Lisper. What's good, Mr. Ty?
Had a good week. You see how we in sync already? Because like you had somebody died and Dan had the moment of silence. That's syncing up, right? We already synced up. We like women with their, with their menstruals. We done synced up. I love it. But I'm here. My week is not interesting because it's like I said, when you're the boss, you don't really do too much. And if you got a good team, then nothing nothing happens. So I'm kind of like, that's where
life is good, sir.
Work shit. Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be good, but I don't like it. I'm used to like, getting busy.
You want some drama?
I'm used to work drama. Like I'm used to it. So now, like when shit quiet, it's kind of weird. But other than that, I don't have nothing interesting going on. I'm just ready to get busy because I think I started a little bit of a fire.
Yeah, I was going to say, and as you mentioned just a second ago, great choice of fucking words when saying drama. because the bullshit that this man started early this week, where when we get to it, we're gonna play the video. But I feel like fucking Denzel in the movies pointing the finger like this when I talk right now. Because I'm pointing on all of you motherfuckers. But anyway, we ain't hyped because we back on Facebook. This is the energy we've been on. Y'all just been missing out. But yeah, the homie Jamal is coming through in a few minutes. A fantasy football team. Tyreek Hill just scored a touchdown. But who is Facebook user to get your popcorn ready? We need to know who you are. Go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. Click that shit so we can know who you are, so we can get back to showing love to, the people who only show love
to the fans. I'm
gonna keep talking shit all day until we lose every viewer, because that's just me. I'm just an asshole. I have a feeling I'm gonna do that, but
it's Brian.
Oh, hi, Brian. My bad.
What's up, Brian?
You good? You good? You good? But yeah, man, freaking, the hiatus is over. Quick aside story on why I came back. TJ, you were around for some of it. It was because the group that I own, that I'm the COO of this group, by the way, legitimately, legally, yeah, no bullshit. I heard we was back on our bullshit, and I caught a message on Instagram like, "Yo, y'all deleted blankety blank's post," and I was like, "Nigga, you forgot I haven't been on Facebook in almost 2 years?" And he kept talking about the thing, and I'm like, and then as soon as I heard, I was like, "Who was? What happened? The pettiness behind it?" I was like, "Oh nah, this shit is too intriguing to get back in there."
Bro, it was spicy.
I said, you know what?
It was spicy.
Again, anybody who's coming through as Facebook user, we don't know who you are.
It's Brian. He said, no. What's the half people?
Oh, that was still Brian saying it, or somebody else?
I think that was still Brian saying it.
Okay. It came through like it was somebody different. But anyway, Facebook, StreamYard.com/Facebook, so we can see your name. If not, go to our YouTube so we can see who the fuck you are. Word. But yeah, shenanigans occurred. And people got exposed for who they are. And it's Tyrone, you're unfamiliar with all of this shit, because I'll get you added to the hip hop discussion group and all that. But TJ knows exactly what it is, exactly who went down, exactly everything about it. And this is a person that we know is a real individual, but don't try to. This is a gaslighting situation. Don't
the
try
chickens came home to roost.
Quote the great Malcolm X and all. No, that was Louis Farrakhan and Malcolm X said that, I believe. The chickens definitely have come home to roost, and we will leave that at that. But pause. Like Mac 10 used to call himself the chicken hawk came back in the building because I had to see what went down, and I missed all of it, but I caught the remnants and the aftermath. And
I got screenshots for you to send you if you want them.
Nigga, I've been asking everybody for them, and I saw the main screenshot.
I got you.
I need to see the whole thing.
I got you.
You being messy, bro?
Son,
nah, man.
No, Tyrone.
Nah, son.
I came back to Facebook to specifically be on fucking evil time. Either evil, either evil or straightforward.
That's my boy. So I'm on some evil time too.
Either evil shit or just straight up straightforward on some like whatever, fuck you. And I say that because when I made my return and I made a post, I made a post, just like, yo, here's where I've been. Here's what's been happening. because I know y'all haven't been coming through and watching the podcast. So this is what's been going on, and only the select handful of people. And I literally can probably go like this and contain everybody in these two hands who's reached out, who's kept in touch while I stayed off of Facebook. And TJ's shaking his head because even if it wasn't by proxy of the podcast, he probably would have been one that would have still, you know what I'm saying?
Always, you know, I reached out to you when you was going through your thing, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Making sure you was good.
And people know it's not I suck with reaching out to people, but I also took a step back because I was the one at one time who did all the reaching out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah.
Who did all the outreach, who did all the event setups, all that. Yo, I took 2023 off from setting up any kind of events and shit like that to see who else was doing it. And I'm not talking this shit because I've talked this same shit to people's right to their faces. So, and everybody knows, everybody's seen it. The only things I set up and organized this year was, yo, we couldn't make it to Philly Cigar Week. Jamal held us down. J1Con. The Starting Five podcast stuff. That was it. You know what I'm saying? But normally, that's what it is. But 2024, we're getting back to that. I'm getting back to it somewhat because I had a conversation with my older cousin who he turns 58 December 23rd. December 23rd. I turned 44 December 25th. My father, I think, turned 70, 71, December 20. But point is this, and I mentioned my father, the cousin, myself, because the way that, like, my father grew up with my cousins, the way they grew up in Perth Amboy, New Jersey, the family lived close to each other. So they was together all the time. My father and the older cousin has had like a, you know, like that, like the little dumb relationship, even though my father has brothers and a sister, you know, but that was, you know, that was his big dog, you know what I'm saying? And so he hit me on some like, yo, like, because we've always stayed in contact like that, where it's like as he expressed to me, like, my relationship with you is like how your father was with me. And I was like, yo, I fucking see it. So we were talking about making sure we set family events up and stuff like that because of how he grew up, how they grew up. They were always tight, connected. But like my father said, it was like, yo, yeah, but we lived right around the corner from each. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole family was in like a block community, you know, not far away from each other.
Right.
You know, but now we're all spread out. But point is we all got youngers that need to know who the fuck their family is and shit like that. And you know what I'm saying? So I'm back on my shit when I need to.
You know, you know what, Dan? You say that we gotta wait for the meet and greets and stuff. I think COVID fucked all that up for us because we was pretty consistent with that for years. For years, we do an annual meet and greet and stuff like that, and we haven't done one in a long time.
Who set them up? With the exception of Sarah. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Sarah and congratulations.
Sarah does a good job.
But who generally set them up?
You know what? Some things you're the man for, Dan. Some things you're the person that pulls people together. Somebody else trying to do it is not going to work as well as you do it, and that's what it is.
And not everybody gives me props for it either, but that's okay.
I'm giving you your flowers now, sir.
I know. I recognize.
Yo, I'm gonna say this with my chest. I'm 100% in. See me poking it out? I'm 100% in for meet and greets, bro. I will show up and set the table. I'll do anything for a meet and greet.
But TJ, by the way, tell you know, like how this is how we got down.
Yeah, we formed like Voltron. That's the only way I met Dan at a Pete Rock versus fucking Premiere free concert on the FDR at a park on the FDR highway. I met him. I met Mike Jones. I met quite a few people that day. It was.
And our first link up spot used to be the Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival. That became my annual Father's Day gift. because that became like an annual meetup for us as a crew. Everybody went. It was my Father's Day gift, from the family and all that, because it became an annual thing anyway. And then it was like we used to have anniversary meet and greets because we did our first one in like a December back in like 2010. So like these are people now that it's like literally like I've like almost a decade and a decade plus, and like families was formed off of this group right here. Legitimately a family. Shout outs to Ian and Iz was formed off of this group. Partially happened because of you get what I'm saying, Tyrone? Like it's like this is the level of what we built within this space. Like I said, I was just saying, TJ, before you froze up, it was like, yo, families was born. That's how
relationships were built. Yeah.
This is how deep that this runs. Families were born, relationships were built. This name has been created as a business name for the past since 2018. You know what I'm saying? So that's not for me. That might be
and we did some impactful shit in hip hop.
Yeah, we did
some impactful shit in hip hop as well.
Hey, fellas, I just want to say this real quick, get out the way. If y'all see me look like that to the side, that's because that's where my TV is and the NFL is on. So I peek at the scores real quick if something going on in the game. So I'm not not listening. I'm just peeking at the because I got to see my football.
Yo, and
side note, real quick.
And shout out to Curtis. Go ahead.
Yeah, word. Nah, side note. This is why I hate fucking this delivery non-contact shit. Fucking delivery guy just dropped off upstairs neighbor who always orders food, whatever. Put the guy's pizza on the porch with this bottle of water on the fucking porch. Took a picture, walked away. I asked to just do this now.
He didn't ring the bell or nothing?
He didn't know. I asked him, yo, what's the name of the pizzeria? He said Maria's. I was like, all right, I wanted to know so I know that I never fucking order from there again. To never order from there at all. I find this levels of disrespect. You're not putting my food on the ground. That when you mention COVID changing shit and that leave it at the doorstep, I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Man. Put it in my hand. Yeah. You're not putting my food on the floor, but my bad. I'm
just
sorry.
Ring the bell. Why is it so hard to ring the fucking bell? Just ring the bell. I'll come to the door. Hand me my shit.
It's raining. It's raining and the porch is wet. Why you put the cardboard box on the fucking floor?
Yeah. Here's my crazy thing, right? They know that I know I ordered food. So if you ring the bell, I know I ordered food. I'm waiting for it. I'm expecting it to come. I'm tracking you and shit. I see what time you're going to get here. So they act like, oh, ringing the bell, it's like I'm going to take a long time to answer the door or something. No, I'm expecting the food. I'm tracking you. I can see what time you're coming. If you ring the fucking bell, I know I ordered food. I'm going to come to the door. So when they say, oh, I dropped it, I set it down, it's like, you set it down when you knew I was waiting for it. You knew I was tracking you. You knew I knew you was out here. So ringing the bell was only going to take you a fucking second, bro. Like,
nah, but sometimes you got to put some drawers on, even though you know it's coming.
That ain't enough for you to leave this shit on the floor, though.
TJ, why do you got to put drawers on, bro? You don't know who delivering that food. It could be a fine young lady that want to see what I got going on.
Creepo Tyrone, there we go. Here we go. Speaking of Creepo Tyrone, yo.
I can't get no pizza with my dick out.
Hey, yo.
Wow.
This is what y'all miss, Facebook people. Say that Brian said, we just ordered from DoorDash. Is the rest this is petty side note for me. I love it when people say, oh, we ordered DoorDash, we ordered Uber Eats. Is that the restaurant name?
No.
Right, I know.
But the people who deliver work for DoorDash and Uber Eats. So it's not the restaurant.
Yo, right, but you're saying I ordered DoorDash or I ordered Uber Eats. No, what restaurant did you order from? I want to know that. Like, what's the restaurant? Put me
Dan,
on.
Dan, it don't matter what restaurant you order from. The delivery person works for the delivery company.
No, you're missing what I'm saying. You're missing what I'm saying. I know that. I know that. What's the restaurant?
Right. The restaurant delivery dude. That wasn't DoorDash.
Thank you, Brian. Taco Bell.
The restaurant delivery dude.
Now, I get it when you don't want to expose the shits. Yes, DoorDash. I get it. But that's just a petty side note. But PC, what up, good brother? Like what we was just saying, we just ordered DoorDash and I got the kicks on, ready to run. It's pouring out here. Yeah. Like Tyrone said, nigga, you gonna be ready.
You're gonna be ready.
You're gonna be ready. Hit that fucking get in the down start position as soon as the bell ring.
But y'all know why I'm gonna be ready? Because I don't want to give him no more tip than I want to give him. You know what I mean? I want to give him $5 tip, but I know that if I take 10 minutes to get to the door, I'm gonna feel like I owe him more than the $5 tip. So I want to make sure that my tip is appropriate for what he's doing. So I'm going to be ready because I feel like if he gotta wait 10 minutes, I owe him more tip than I want to give him. You know what I mean?
Pause. So that's why I'm talking about. I can't answer the door with my dick out. You just that's you measure how much tip you gonna give him.
Yo.
You said all this. You said all this at different moments of time.
Prior. This is prior conversation, sir.
Right.
Cheating again. Y'all always cheating.
This ain't a cheat. I'm just melding and remixing everything you said.
Yo, man.
The shit come together like a chain reaction, like the Beastie Boys said. It all come together like a chain reaction. But all right. But yeah, we back on Facebook. Who the fuck is this? Shout outs to you. But again, StreamYard.com/Facebook. Go to that so we can see who you are.
Or YouTube.
Or go straight to our YouTube. I'm not going to shout you out as a Facebook user anymore.
We don't know who you are. But
Tyrone,
thanks for watching.
Many of y'all don't know the brother Tyrone yet. Met through Instagram. This is for people that are on Facebook that hasn't been around on the block in YouTube with us. Met the brother through TikTok, man. Funny dude. At first, I used to see him like, yo, who's this old ass nigga with all the grays doing all this video content?
Wow.
Like that. No, in my head, it was like, yo, like,
truth comes out.
And then I comment, but his shit was always witty. His shit was always on time. You know what I'm saying? And then it was like, yo, I started to see him in the Wrestle Talk space. And then it was like, yo, he mentioned he had a podcast. And I was like, you know what? Let me go check this shit out. So I went, I try to support people on the podcasting level like us first. You know what I'm saying? AKA, we don't get that many spins. Like, I'm not looking at my Spotify Wrapped. Never again, because our Spotify Wrapped. I blame y'all.
Humble you fuck up real fast, don't it?
But yo, friends, how many of us have them? I'm rapping today, but yo, when I realized the brother had a podcast and all that, like he always likes to recite. Like I had to reach out. I'm like, yo, you need to, when was the last episode? Like, yo, your shit is funny. Like your dude is funny. And then we had him on a couple episodes earlier this year. Then I went back and I was like, yo, we've been looking for a fifth for the longest. What y'all think about adding this brother on to the team? And everybody, even this guy was like, yo, he fit. Every time we had him in the guest spot. Peace, Leaf.
Yes, Leaf. Yes, Leaf. What's good?
But every time we talked about like, yo, Jamal, like when it was time to add Tyrone, it was just like, yeah, he fits with us. Even though I will say Tyrone comes in and he thinks he's gonna argue us down. He thinks he's going to have the point in the take that's gonna take us out. What the fuck happens all the time? Pop the pin, we diffuse this.
Y'all
Yeah,
Y'all
that's
cheat.
it.
That's
Then we
the
can call
all the time. Y'all cheat.
And then we can call cheaters, Jamal. We put in the Konami code to have enough lives to defeat him.
That's what's up. What's good, y'all? Sorry I'm late, man.
That's okay, but it was just talking to the people that hasn't been checking us out on YouTube with our return to Facebook, telling them about the brother Tyrone and like how we added him. And I was just like, yo, after bringing it back to y'all was like, you know, this fits.
That's what's up. Definitely.
So I was trying to throw it to y'all to give your takes on adding the brother, but you missed that alley-oop.
No, I got it because Ty's a funny dude.
That was the Patrick Ewing finger roll.
Oh, okay. Ty thought he was gonna come through with the steel chair and start bashing niggas in the head, and then we was like, nah, you just gonna get jumped. You just gonna get jumped, dog. We don't play that here, dogs. Swing that shit on you want, you're gonna get clipped. You know what I'm saying? But it's been all love. We like button pushers here. And Tyrone definitely pushes the buttons. Mr. Green, how you been, sir? You looking good over there?
Good, man. A little tired, but it's all good. I wish I could have been out in the backyard, but it's raining like hell over here in our part of Jersey. So I'm back up in the confines of the room here. But everything is good. But no, just piggybacking what you said, yeah, once Ty was a natural fit, man. From the time he came on when we did the the cartoon tournament, and Ty came for Voltron the way he did.
Yeah, he was real disrespectful, dogs. He was real disrespectful.
And it's funny because it's like we feel like we talking shit, but it's just giving you props. Like it's all just giving you props.
Yeah.
Good. but like I said, the second part of the end of this show, like this man definitely caused the shits this week. We'll get into that. But Tyrone, again, man, like, yeah, just we will wax poeticking on about you, say to the people of the Starfire Podcast group.
I just showed up. You know what I mean? I just wanted to show up. That's it. All I wanted to do was show up, be myself, and talk some shit. I never expected to get to be a part of this. I never expected to get to even like I said, Dan, when I conversed with you about my podcast being stopped, like I didn't feel like doing it no more. I didn't feel respected. You know what I mean? I was kind of fucked up with it. I didn't expect for you to be like, no, go ahead, bro. I'll listen to it. You know what I mean? I didn't expect none of that. You know what I mean? So I just came in, I just was myself, and I just, whatever happens. And I'm just so happy that this was able to come about. And like I said, when you a real man and real men can have real conversations, that this is what happens. And so, and now I'm just like, I'm so happy because this has given me avenues. I would have never went to J1 Con, you know what I mean? I would have never met Dot Squad, which now me and her is cool. Like we friends. Like if she blows up, I know she's gonna be like, I was one of the first supporters, you know what I mean? I would have never got some opportunities had I not met you guys. And so that's why I always say, like, I'm very grateful, very humble, and very thankful that you guys agreed to incorporate me into this shit, because this opened up doors for me that I wasn't on this level. You know what I mean? So I appreciate it a lot.
Leaf, go to our YouTube page from earlier this year and look up, or even just go to our podcast streams and look up. What was it? I forgot what was a cartoon. I forgot the name of the cartoon tournament.
It was a cartoon tournament.
Yeah, was that one of our like Sweet 16s at the time? No, yeah, it was, because it was it was a Sweet 16, and we only did Sweet 16.
Yeah.
Except for
but he was out of pocket, Leaf. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, to come at Voltron.
He was out of pocket, yo.
Yeah. And speaking of coming out of a pocket, Big O.
Oh man, the Tito of the group.
I ain't even mad. We got everybody. I ain't even mad. We got everybody today. So that's what's up.
Put your joint on landscape sideways.
You can't show a whole room. Can't show a
Hey,
whole room.
oh,
No, not your.
The feds is watching.
You got the ring light on the wrong side.
Yo, you gotta always.
And it got the whole phone grip too. This nigga's drunk. He's wasted.
Come on.
What up, Big O?
Your man
realize
got
that
the Cameron sweater on. He got the
Oh,
Cameron
always
hoodie on.
He always accidentally brings the comedic moment. Like it's not even on purpose. He always brings the most funniest moment on the show, and that shit's always on accident. Like
Oh man.
no, fan been this way since I knew him, since I met him.
Man. Fucking Uncle Nearest, man.
Yo, bro, Uncle Nearest will get you.
I see why they call it Nearest, man. She gets you nearer to God.
Your mic
How
situation.
close? How close is he to you right now? How close is the uncle to you right now? Oh,
I don't know,
About
I
right
caught that
there.
box, man.
It's about right there.
you can feel him touching him. He's touching him. He's touching him.
Word, man.
But we got try to work your camera. I tried to turn up your mic camera. I mean, not your camera, but your mic volume. I turned it up on this
Microphone,
end
yeah.
in the StreamYard settings. Talk real quick.
Yo.
Yeah, you still sound like
You sound like you're far away.
back of the room. But anyway, we back with the shits again. For the people that haven't been rocking with us on the YouTubes, we've transitioned a lot of how we do the show. If sports comes up, sports comes up. But we literally have been talking about whatever and anything, and y'all would know this if y'all been keeping it real with us. But you know, I'm getting all my venting out because fuck most of y'all. But Tyrone, you're taking the lead on this first part. The last part is the major conversation, which is the whole N-word pass situation, which I'm going to play the TikTok that started this whole shit. I'm gonna play that later. But the other part we wanted to get into, have at it.
Oh, okay. So we doing the N-word part later on.
Last.
Okay. Well, okay. So fine. I wanted to ask you, brothers, and that's why I wanted this to be a part of the podcast. And I wanted to say this, right? We talk about like professional athletes, we talk about actors, we talk about all these people that we deem to be superstars and whatever they do. If they act, whatever, superstars, famous people, whatever they do, right? And I just wanted to ask, like, how far and how important is their morality to you as a person? Because you know how, like, for instance, when Colin Kaepernick was kneeling, and there was a lot of people that was like, I'm boycotting, I'm never watching the NFL again. For me, I was like, fuck that. I don't care what's going on. I'm watching football. Like Colin Kaepernick's moral values is not enough for me to not watch football and shit like that. Or like when a certain character from a certain show might cheat on his wife or some shit like that, and people are like, I'm not watching that show no more. He's a cheater. You know what I mean? So I'm saying to you guys, I want to know, how far does morality of a character or a superstar or a person that you know, how far does that take it for you to like? How far does that matter in what you watch or how you participate?
There's levels to it. There's levels to it. I'll start. There's levels to it. So a person like we'll just state the obvious, R. Kelly, right? I don't listen to none of his music, past, present, whatever. I stopped listening to the brother altogether for what he's done and what he's been accused of and convicted of, all that shit. So there's levels to it. Like you said, Colin Kaepernick, I still watch football. I'm a fan of football, but I supported his cause. It wasn't like I wasn't down for his cause. It's just something, like you said, it wasn't enough for me to stop watching football. But there's levels to everything, and it's got to be with you on a personal level. It's how it affects your morals on a personal level. So, in that sense, where do you draw the line at supporting or listening or buying the person's merch or being a fan of them? Where does that line in the sand for you as a person come from? So it might not be for everybody to say I listen to this person or I still watch this or I'm still a part of that. It's got to be for you as a person. Where do you draw your line in the sand at? And that's where I'll say it with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say for me, I don't go ahead. Oh, let's hear you. I want to see if you sound any better.
I was gonna say, man, if that's the case, boy, you're gonna stop this. You're gonna have to stop listening to a lot more music, boy, because the shit is coming out. It's like a slow drip from a faucet. The shit that's coming out with Aaron Hall and Puff and all them dudes, man. So, I mean, it's I don't know. It's a tough, slippery slope, man, to go down. I mean, if R. Kelly's music is on, I probably ain't gonna turn it off, but I'm not gonna go look for it because now everything song he plays, you gotta double back now and really be like, yo, who's he singing about? Like they had the song Aaron Hall song, that "Don't Be Afraid" song. It's like word for word that he was talking about.
That changed, yeah, over time.
Yeah,
and that's one of my favorite joints too.
Yeah.
Man, it's like this dude telling on himself like Young Thug, man.
Yo, so I get what you're saying. Oh, is where did they get their source of inspiration to write that, right?
Yeah.
Because they were going through it. We didn't have that knowledge. We thought he was just a great songwriter, but he was actually pulling from experience. Seems like you're ready, pulling from experience. Don't be afraid, pulling from experience. So you're like, oh shit, the light bulb goes off. You're like, nah, bro. Say you didn't go there with that. That's not how you wrote that song.
Not to sidebar off of anybody's points, but the one joint that for some reason still to this day gets a pass. Y'all should probably know where we're going since we're in this R&B lane. Backstage, underage, adolescent. How you doing? Fine. Like that shit still gets passes for people.
Wow. Yeah, you know what? This dude Dan over here. I don't know if remember I said we might have had the ESP, like the telepathy thing, because he knew about your little situation you did a moment of silence. I think he really got it, because every week y'all notice how he's stealing my shit. I was just about to bring that up. That motherfuckers been saying that they've been doing it. And I was going to bring that exact line up, and Dan's over here stealing my shit. Hey, get out my hand, Professor X.
But my point to this whole thing is if you're looking for a celebrity or something that you're a fan of to find your fucking morality out of, you have a lot more soul searching and work to do internally. And I will say it like that. Age ain't nothing but a number. Yup.
Yeah.
I thought Aaliyah was older than me when she came out. She was the same fucking age as me.
Ain't nobody. You see who you. Y'all keep letting him insult y'all. Is that because he's the host or what? I don't know. But Dan, we know who you talking to. We ain't about to let nobody define our morality. We grown men. We must define our morality on our own. I'm saying that. How far does the other person's morality make you feel?
No. Stop.
How you going to do it?
Individual. It's all individual to that person.
And before you even not let me get my shit out, Tyrone, pause, is you started and led this question. This is one of them things you got to get with building and hosting. Remember what the fuck you said. Because you said to you.
No.
Don't spin it. Don't spin it. You said you led the question with to you.
Yeah.
You did.
How important is their morality to you, not my morality to?
No, that's what and I'm saying, and I'm giving, and I didn't even get to finish my answer. And you jumped down, you jumped on me. I didn't even get to finish. That's why I led with the general statement to say, to me, it don't fucking matter. Remember who you are as a person. Remember who you are as an adult. But if you fuck it up, that's your life. It ain't mine. But thank you for the lesson on what not to do. And so the morality is
it's individualistic, man. It's individualistic to your own morality code. How much you can take, how much where your line in the sand is, and how much you can separate the art from the artist. So it's really nebulous in a lot of ways, but it all comes down to your own, your own personal morality code, and
so
yeah, DJ.
So when he says their morality, like if we was in the same room with that person, we wouldn't condone that shit. Be like, yeah, hey, yo, what the fuck is going on? I didn't sign up for this, bro. I'm not chilling with you like that. Right. That's where their morality would be. And I'd be like, nah, I'm out. This is what y'all doing. I'm out because I don't want to get caught up in this. You know what I'm saying? I'm out. Oh, you want some sucker shit? Yeah, I am. Because I can't promote. I don't agree with this. I can't stop it, but I'm not going to be here to entertain it. I'm not here to entertain that because that's not the way I was brought up. That's not the way I'm built. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the line is drawn.
My bad. And to the way you said it was like, we're all of that era to where it's like, yo, we might not run out there and just throw you under the bus, but we ain't going to stand there for that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's a whether or not, like, do we choose to intervene and step in and try to like if it's too egregious, of course we might step in. But if it looks like some shit that it's like, like like you said, on some like moral compass type of time where it's like, then we just leave the situation, and most of us will act like nothing happened.
Listen, we all been in a situation where we was uncomfortable and be like, oh, is this what y'all doing? It's like, yeah. And I'm just like, it's not for me. And it's like, oh, you're not down with this? And you're like, nah, because you can see where it's going. It didn't get there yet, but you can see where it's going. What happens after that is none of my business because I wasn't there to comment on it. So I can't say anything after that.
And we usually make the iris exit out of there. We won't even say peace. It's just
quick. Yeah, I'm out.
Okay, so let me put the little spin on it, right? Now, TJ, I agree with what you said. For me too, I love R. Kelly music. I did. I was stepping in the name of love and all that shit. After all of that shit came out, after I really watched Surviving R. Kelly, R. Kelly music can't play in my house because now when I hear it, I hear it differently, and I feel a type of way about it. Like it's not like how before music used to make you feel good, you want to dance. Now when I hear R. Kelly shit, I'm angry. Like it fucks with me.
You cringing,
right?
Yeah.
So here's the other thing too, right? So when you look at like for me in my real life, I don't believe in cheating on a woman. I don't believe in that. I don't do it. I'm like, if you're dealing with a woman, you don't cheat on her, blah blah blah, right? So when you find out NFL players, NBA players, all these dudes are cheating on their wives, right? And you go, oh, I don't want to watch that team no more. I don't want to support them no more. You cheat on the fight. But for me, in my head, it's like NBA players can cheat. You got to understand this. You got a dude that got a whole bunch of money that's young and attractive, and rich, and he's traveling to different states 80 times a year. And so if you're a woman and you marry that dude and he cheats, it's kind of like, for me, my morality says, hey, you know that's going to happen. You jumping in for it, you benefiting from it, and you need to just like fall back and chill. So that doesn't bother me. When they say NBA players and NFL players and professional athletes cheat, that shit doesn't bother me the fuck at all.
So I get what you're saying because we're not in that circle. We're not in that era. We don't live these people's lives and have people. It's not like we get women thrown at each other at us on a daily basis because of who we are, right? Even though I'm sure that's a great fucking feeling, I'll never know that. But it's like you said, like we don't know what goes on in these circles. Like you see all these NBA players passing dozens of chicks around. The same chick be through like 4 NBA teams, and I'm not getting on women or whatever how they do their business. It's just like, why? I've got all this money and I'm established. Why do I want something that you had and Dan had, and O had, and Jay. Like, that's not appealing to me. I want to get out and get my own shit. But these guys are all in the same circles. These women know the circles that they travel in, and this is what this life is. You could be a hip hop head, you could be a rapper, you could be a movie star. There's circles. It's very small. It's very small, and they only deal with each other. They're not dealing with the regular bullshit we're dealing with. So when you hear shit like this, you gotta kind of expect it on some level. But that's why we always reference back to Derek Jeter, because he was the king. He kept his business clean. He didn't get married till after he was retired, and he did what he wanted to do, how he wanted to do it. And there was no backlash. There was no drama. He didn't have no illegitimate kids. None of that shit. He kept his shit clean. I don't understand why more players can't follow that book, or do they even give a fuck to follow that book because of who they are, with the money they make, and how they live.
That spoke almost, part of what TJ said spoke almost directly to how my mind state was, even from back in high school. Now, again, back in high school, I had no girlfriends, couldn't get with nobody. The few that I tried to, all liked a friend of mine. I've always taken the approach of, if you were with a friend of mine, now you can only be a friend of mine. If you get what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. If you were with a friend of mine, you can only be a friend of mine. And it's not because it is like, right. I never took that approach of like how people look at, which is stupid to me, of like, oh, woman, you're used goods, you've been ran through, blah, 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 blah. Stupid ass takes like that. If you are with somebody who is not a virgin, they've been with somebody before you. Grow the fuck up and get over it. Grow the fuck up and get over it. You were with somebody that was with somebody before you. You know, like the whole thing of, oh, you was with the porn star. You was so fucking what? If that was in the past and it stays in the past, that's where the fuck it is. Plain and simple. But this whole thing, when we're talking mental morality clause and things like that, it brought me back to who mentioned before, the Kaepernick situation. We've done so many shows on the Kaepernick situation back when, and shout outs to the brother JP. Congrats to the start of his new podcast, Generations of the Game. It's up on YouTube right now. But we was following that shit week for week by week. And you can track how my mind state followed throughout the whole thing if you listen to those episodes. Because like y'all said, I stood with Cat 1,000% for what it was. I love football. I wasn't stopping to watching football because I recognized right out the gate the people who were the loudest on the internet and about, oh, fuck the NFL. Y'all never watched football in the first place. You only entertained football during the Super Bowl. Or unless you were with somebody that liked football and then, or I'm in the environment that football was on TV. We just dealt with it, right? You know, you stayed with it and you watched the football because you was in the space. You never was really a football fan to say anything about it, to even comment on the game itself. And then two, you're choosing the one to spite the hundreds of other black players that were still playing in the league. You're spiting everybody else for one guy and then calling them coons and all these derogatory names for choosing to feed their families. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, morally, we stood with you because, you're right in what you were standing for. But then when you started to really weed out what was going on and what it looked like, it all ended up looking like, it did look like he did this shit and took the right spin on it, but did this shit because he got benched and then it was in turn looking for another job. You know, that's how it, to me, it boiled down to.
Dang.
It never diluted.
This goes back to
the Black Lives Matter message.
This goes back to the one bad apple spoiling the whole bunch type deal. Like you can't, like you said, you can't kick out the whole league because there's still hundreds of black players in the league that are making money and trying to eat and feed their families. So you can't, say we're going to boycott the entire NFL. The NFL is an entity. It's a business
And there's
that
problems
supplies.
within it. But there's problems within it.
With every corporation, this is true. With every corporation, this is true. Nobody's hands is clean.
My point was more for me. It was like, I love football. Like, you know what I mean? Like, love it. Like, I don't watch the NFL. Like, that's my Sunday, right? And my point was, I do want to support Kaepernick. I understand why he was kneeling, right? But then it was like, is that enough for me to, like, I haven't went through maybe what Kaepernick is talking about. I know police brutality is happening, but is it enough for me to give up something that I love just to show my solidarity? I can show my solidarity in other ways, but I have to give up football to show that I can't do it. I could not stop watching football just because of that.
Right, but
especially when the narrative changed. Yeah, when Kaepernick first kneeled and he was saying it was about like the black injustices, I was cool with that. But then when it became about, do we disrespect the flag? Are we talking about army people? The president got involved. The narrative changed. And then I was just like, the kneeling is fucking irrelevant at this point. So I'm watching football.
Yeah, but the narrative,
Here's the funny shit.
People didn't fully allow the narrative to change. Make your point, TJ, because I wanted to actually spin it off of my comment to something else.
Right. Well, what I was gonna say is it's a little bit crazy because it's like an oxymoron. There's players with end racism on the back of their helmet, right? But they're in a league where there are no black owners. You know what I'm saying? There are no black elite
majority owners.
There's no black. You're right. Majority owners. There's not really enough black GMs. We can count how many coaches. It's light though compared to what it is right now. We can just boil it down to black coaches in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? And you can count on one hand. So it's like you say end racism on the back of it, but that's like a joke. Like, end racism, not in the NFL, just end racism, period. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I was going. But go ahead, finish your point, Dan.
I kind of forgot it, but I could still spin it because this whole thing about it wasn't to really hang out hat on Cap, but it was a part of the morality of us being the viewers and watching the celebrity. And I know Big O wanted to kind of get into this guy for weeks now, because a part of this morality content is because of your boy Diddy. And I know Big O has been ready to talk about this shit. So have at it.
It's basically it's the same thing. Like, I was gonna say that the whole morality thing is a sliding scale, man. It's almost like how much of it is really gonna fuck with you? How much is really gonna bother you? Like what R. Kelly did, was accused of doing is fucked up. Like, yeah, that's, but people still like, I'm still gonna listen. But now with Puff and his shit, it's like, god damn, like it was like a hold my beer moment. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen videos with him and Justin Bieber. And it's like you're watching it now, and you're like, like goddamn, like, you know what I'm saying?
That's nasty.
What's that?
I said that's nasty.
Yeah, man.
A lot of the Puff shit though, people was like they always kind of had a feeling. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what the vibe has been.
But with him though, with him, like it's a long fucking line. You're talking about from Uptown Records. You know what I'm saying? Like these things is happening with Andre Harrell passing and Kim Porter passing. You're like, so now this shit, all this shit that comes out, you have to double back to all that. And like, wait a minute, now it's starting to, like the chips are starting to fall and shit. You're like, wait, okay, like maybe he did have something to do with this. Maybe he did have something to do with that. So.
You want to know what my problem is with the Puff Daddy situation? Is that and I'm a sound insensitive when I say this, but I don't give a fuck. I really don't. Because in the simple fact of the matter is, we've spent years in hip hop and we've heard stories in hip hop, not just Puff Daddy, not just we know. We've heard stories about hip hop and how they treat young women. We heard stories about hip hop and how these dudes was abusive. We heard stories in hip hop about these dudes sexualize all this shit, raping all this shit. We've heard stories about this throughout hip hop, right? And this is part, sadly to say, that's part of the hip hop culture. For me, it's like we know these things occur in hip hop, and we just don't. We act like we don't care about it. Even murder and shit like that. Hip hop. A lot of these rappers, like they say, okay, I had to kill this person, blah blah, and we eat it up. We glamorize it a little bit. So for me, I don't get that mad when these kind of stories come out, because I'm like, that's part of the hip hop lifestyle. And if you are a female and you get involved with one of these hip hop dudes, it's kind of like, this is the lifestyle you put yourself in, because we know that these things occurred. I think Puff Daddy ain't the first person we talked about, and all that. And the difference between Puff Daddy and R. Kelly to me is that if this was coming out with R. Kelly about grown women, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd be stepping in the name of love to this day, because I still listen to whatever I want to listen to in hip hop, because hip hop artists is known for that. The reason why I can't do R. Kelly is because a lot of these women were underage and with kids. That bothers me a little bit more than just saying this is a hip hop thing. You know what I mean?
Well, that's your own moral spin on it, because I mean, if it's women in general, nah, it's a no-go. There's no, you can't be doing these things to anybody, period. No. I understand your take of you're not gonna, like the weight of it doesn't feel the same, because you're kind of viewing them as like you're an adult. You can find you assume that you could find ways out of said situations, but we all know that's not always true. It's not always true.
No,
but here's the thing though. If
you're an adult woman, see, this is my problem. If you are a grown adult woman and you want to fuck with Puff Daddy, you want to fuck with a rapper, you want to fuck with one of those dudes that's in that lifestyle, you know that there's a chance that some of this shit is going to happen to you, and you chose to still do that. So you went in knowing that some of this shit is possible in the hip hop community. Come on, Dan, like don't front like this is not something that goes on in hip hop.
No. I'm not. It's not a front, because
we know about this shit.
Listen, but this. I got to take a quote from this guy, this comedian and podcast guy, Dante Nero, who he always mentions how like women have to go out. Like if they're going on a date, they're doing something with it. They're setting up a date or whatever. We don't respect the fact that sometimes they have to think, will I get killed tonight? Will I get raped tonight? These are things that men don't sometimes even put into perspective, that women have to think about sometimes within just going out with somebody. So we can't just give that you gotta know that this is no. Because why should they even have to feel that kind of threat in life? Thank you. Why should they even have to feel that kind of threat just to go hang out with somebody? That's a level of perspective that we don't have.
It's reality.
It's reality, but that doesn't mean you just automatically assume that. It doesn't, and then again, that's kind of like dictating how one's moral compass should be. How one should, if I'm rolling this way, I must be down with that type of shit. No.
This is
no. How about you as the adult?
Thing. This is the thing.
How about
Right. This is the thing. Puff got to such a certain level in status. He didn't give a fuck anymore. He was bored. You know what I'm saying? He started experimenting, doing all kind of crazy shit, making people uncomfortable. He was living his life because he had fuck you money. You know what I'm saying? He has enough money where he felt like, I seen all these other people do it, and I'm gonna do it too. Like this is where he's at. We don't know what that's like because we haven't been there. God forbid I've written Mega Millions. I'm 100 million in the game. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be like that person. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because we've lived long enough to witness the mistakes of others and built a certain level of moral compass that it's like, nah, this is how you go to jail. But Jamal, like, you've been sitting in just kind of stewing for a minute in all of this.
Again, you know, it comes down to your own personal morality, man. What you choose to fuck with and what you choose not to. Because you know, just to take Puff for I swore on Puff, so we'll talk about Puff. You know, the rumors about Puff have been going around for 2 decades now. He ain't been convicted in no court yet. Maybe that's coming, maybe that's not. Right? But he's not alone in his activities. He's just the target that everybody's talking about. The dudes that pay Puff, even worse. The guys above him. And it's not just the hip hop industry, it's just the rich and powerful, period. And that's how they get down. Who always gets a pass and all this stuff is the corporate powerful. The shit they doing is ridiculous. You know, but it always comes down to entertainment. Entertainment's the easy target, what everybody looks at, but nobody looks at the people that pays entertainment, you know, and try to figure out what they're behind, what they're doing. Those are the motherfuckers that are behind trafficking and all that other shit and all the crazy shit, because they don't have fuck you money. They have, let me try and terraform the world money. Let me just try and create the world in my own. You know what I mean? So the type of debauchery and immorality that these motherfuckers are involved in, as you see with Epstein and those types, that whole shit got to pass. We should be demanding who are all the rest of those names that was blacked out on that list. You know what I mean? We should be demanding that shit. You know, we had the names up on it, and he knew everybody. You know, even the last motherfucker in the White House claimed he didn't know him, but they the 2 richest dudes in Palm Beach, live a few blocks from each other. He don't know him. Come on, fam. You know. So those folks. So it's not, and I don't want to sound callous either. It's not like I don't care what Diddy's doing. It's fine. If he done this shit, he get caught. Cool. You know, it is what it is. He earned it, but he's been doing it forever, and people are still doing business with him in that way. Allegedly, because we don't know. He's been accused of stuff forever, but those guys that do this stuff, there's a system that enables them to get away with it. Right. It's not like he's just doing this shit and saying, I'm not gonna get caught. Come on. When you making people millions too,
you gotta think.
You get there's a wall of protection. So it's bigger. It's always bigger than just 1 or 2 people that we target. It's always a network of shit, and that's the big problem. Is you gotta disrupt the network. But you got one person, not gonna do shit.
Look at all the people like that. You got bodyguards, limo drivers, hanger-ons, entourage. Like they all were in on it. You know what I'm saying? They all seen this happen.
Why I don't care about them 30 years later. I don't care about them 30 years later coming out and saying I whatever. You know, I mean, we all know YouTube is full of all that. Well, I seen him do that. I said, you telling it 30 years now later. You know what I mean? It don't matter now.
But that's part of my point too.
Right.
That's part of my point too. You got limo drivers, you got bodyguards, you got people that's around these people that have seen all of this shit prosper through all of this time, right? So don't you think that there's a certain point where these people become desensitized when they just say, this is what happens in hip hop. This is normal. This is the normal activity. And then they start going, these women that are here, no. Because how do you not? I'm just saying, if I'm a limo driver,
they're not turning down. They're not fucking up that check. They're not fucking up that check, Tyrone. They're not fucking up that check, bro.
I'm just trying
They're not fucking up that check at all, bro.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Okay, I'm not gonna fuck up my check, right? So for me, if I'm a limo driver and I see Puff Daddy back there and he beating the shit out of somebody, a woman in the back of my limo, but I don't want to fuck up my check. So my money and me making my money is more than my morality, even though I know what's going on is wrong, right?
Puff,
but then I'm saying,
because Puff probably threw him a couple of extra dollars or whoever.
No. I'm saying,
threw him an extra couple of dollars to say quiet, bro.
Hold on. Your point is there. We're getting very long-winded on the factor of you're forgetting. We're comparing. We're putting together different eras in today's time. You know, nowadays contracts come with silence. in those days, them
Yeah.
80s, 90s, early 2000s, it was my name is Bennett and I ain't in it because this check is good. So, like, yes, Tyrone, people were putting the check over their own morality because if they spoke out, then it becomes the blackball situation, which ties to what Jamal mentioned in it's the people above the people who are the targets that know how to get it, which I wanted to spin this back to O, which makes Sierra look smart as hell because as more information came out, it looked like she sued Puff and Puff squashed the shit quietly. But she actually sued the corporations that he worked for as an employee. And they were quick to be like, give her what she wants. We'll settle on this, but we're gonna give her something to keep that shit shut. Because once again, sometimes that pen to paper on writing, and that's in multiple forms. Because what other documents are out there when something goes this quick, it makes you question everything. Oh,
right. Yeah, you talking about Cassie, and I think
Cassie, not Ciara. My bad, Cassie.
Right, and I think too. Also, they're still talking about her coming out with a book, like her, trying to, thinking about coming out with a book. So I don't even know if silence was part of the this whole, $30 million check that she got or whatever. So yeah, man, that and it's already happening that Puff that they started distancing themselves from Puff now. So
it's shit like this that will go on. He says Gene Deal said Diddy had paid hotel security to erase footage from surveillance. Again, this is all alleged. Mm-hmm. But sometimes time changes people. And even those, and again, when we're talking morale,
limitations too.
That part, that's a big factor in a lot of it too. But when we're talking morals and stuff, it's like you're coming out now, but now you're also in some respects making yourself look bad because we're thinking in a new 2023 way of thinking. How come you didn't say something then? And it goes to that approach that we're going to bring back up again in our major topic, which is that whole N-word pass. And I will build on how we got there, but it ties into that same notion of thought, which I actually said to you, Tyrone, in one of my response videos of it feels like when people get at SA victims and say, but why did it take you so long to say something? And we can't dictate when somebody is of the right frame of mind to actually disclose these type of discretions that happen to them.
What looks bad is they waited for a person to get in a position of power to say something. That's where it looks crazy at the end, though. You know what I'm saying? Or Eric Adams got accused of some shit back in like 1992. Right. So what? I mean, he was a lowly beat cop back then. You could have easily crucified his career as a cop because that shit is very serious, and they take that shit very seriously. Back then, he wasn't nobody back then. That's a whole different situation. You know what I'm saying?
But there are circumstances there are circumstances for why you say something then and why you say something now. Like for instance, the Epstein thing. I mean, not Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, right? Harvey Weinstein back then, when he first started doing all his shit, no woman could say nothing because Hollywood was tight. And if you said something, you were not going to get a job. Like you were not going to work. You were not going to be able to feed your family, all this. But then times changed where women like Jennifer Aniston, women like, women started making a whole bunch of money. And other studios were available where they could say, I don't need fucking Harvey Weinstein. So now some girls that might not have said nothing back in the day, now they got support of women that can help them still keep their career. Now they got a different support group of people that they don't need Harvey Weinstein now. He can't blackball them. I can go work for this person. I can work for that person. Harvey Weinstein don't got a lock on it. Hollywood's not as tight as it is. So that gives them an opportunity to say, that's why the Me Too movement started to say, Me Too. He did that shit to Me Too. But when he was doing it at that time, I couldn't say shit. But now, because of different women
Right.
that's coming out and going against him, it provides the opportunity for them to get their story out. So I get,
Yeah, but that's one angle to it. And again, it's looking at it in different lenses of different eras, because you mentioned his name and mentioned all these studios and shit like that. You got to look at it like a person of his power. They usually have connections with every other entity in that same space, right or wrong, Jamal?
You have to, yeah. You absolutely have to look at it that way. Yeah,
because you gotta have those relationships, because you gotta share talent. You gotta, sometimes depending on contracts work, you gotta be able to allow this person to go here, go there. And it sucks to say that one or two people control your fate. But when you move with that code of like, oh, we gotta keep shit silent, not saying that is right, it happened. But like you said, Tyrone, it takes that moment of breakthrough. But sometimes it takes time for that moment of breakthrough to come through. It takes time. It
was just like we were saying, like they can't make a show like Married with Children in today's age because of the time and of the era. That show would never get greenlighted in today's space due to the feminism and the talking down of women and stuff like that. That show couldn't be made today due to the times. It was a great show for its time. And you can look back and cringe now, but at that time it was acceptable. It was acceptable on multiple platforms.
That show in syndication.
No, watch your favorite episode of Living Color and see if that would be broadcast now.
Yeah.
Hated it. Maybe that part, because the world loves to see men on the other side of the fence. Hated it. That might be good, but other shit, like, nah, it wouldn't work.
Just when they came for when Living Color came for somebody, they came right. There was no inference. They came. They went
hard.
They went hard, and now they probably get sued now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but again, we have to remember. All of that shit came at a time point where we thought differently. Like this situation here, which we're about to get right into it. And I gotta play the video as the lead in. This is Tyrone, as he said, standing on business, not like T.I.'s son. Here we go. Come on. Now I don't want to play.
You know what I'm saying? But I want to ask y'all a question, seriously. What did Hulk Hogan do that was racist other than use the N-word? Because I'm saying that we keep calling Hulk Hogan racist. We keep saying Hulk Hogan's racist. Well, first of all, Hulk Hogan is the character. Terry Bollea is the man. So Terry Bollea is racist. The character of Hulk Hogan was he trained in prayers and vitamins, and then he joined the NWO. But the character of Hulk Hogan didn't say no racist shit. That was Terry Bollea at home. So let's kill that. Let's stop associating Hulk Hogan, the character, with Terry Bollea, who is the man. And I say that to say this: y'all don't do it to actors and actresses. When the motherfuckers be in the movies and Leonardo DiCaprio said nigga in Django, y'all let him say it because he was in the movie. That's him acting. The real Leo didn't say it. So it's the same with Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan it was in the movies. The real Terry Bollea said it. So y'all kind of got to stop with the Hulk Hogan racist shit. It's Terry Bollea. Hulk Hogan is a character. He ain't even a real person. But I digress on that to say that all of y'all keep saying Hulk Hogan's racist. Hulk Hogan's racist. And the only thing that I know that y'all can relate to racism with him is him saying the N-word. And I'm not giving him an excuse. I'm not giving him a pass. I'm not saying that he didn't want to say the N-word. I'm not saying that he didn't enjoy saying the N-word. I'm not even saying that he's not racist. And I'm not saying that even if he wasn't racist, that he wasn't ignorant. At least at the height of ignorance, he shouldn't have been saying the N-word. But there is a but, because y'all forget that Hulk Hogan in an interview before that other shit came out said that when he lived in Miami, he used to hang out with black rappers all the time. He specifically named Lil Wayne, Birdman, and Game. And in that same interview, he said that Lil Wayne, Birdman, and Game all was hanging out with him, all were using the N-word, and did not care when he said it around him. He said he used to be in the studio saying my nigga all the time with them. He said that they kind of gave him a pass to say the N-word. But nobody brings that up. Everybody just sweeps that under the rug. Everybody just act like that didn't happen. Y'all act like that didn't exist. And then also Lil Wayne, Birdman, and Game have never denied it. They never said nothing about it because nobody ever called them out on it. So I'm not saying that that's the reason why Hulk Hogan said it, but I'm saying that if you give a white man permission to freely use that word, and he's getting it from people in that are of high standard in our community, because we hold rappers at a high standard in our community. I don't know why, but we do. When people of high standard in our community are giving this man permission to say the N-word, doesn't that kind of stand on something? Doesn't that kind of give me a little bit of taking it back, like to say, like, well, I can understand a little bit, but y'all don't bring that part up, though. Y'all just want to condemn Hulk Hogan and not bring up the fact that Lil Wayne, Birdman, Game, and probably some other rappers that he didn't name have some part in this shit, too. I'm just saying. And I stand on it. I may get a lot of flack.
So we're all gonna give first thoughts on the brothers' takes, and I'm gonna kind of recite mine in a way where you let off the whole joint from the middle in saying, I'm not giving them a pass, I'm not trying to give them a pass, none of that. But you led into halfway giving him a pass because he did it around Lil Wayne, Game, and Birdman. And then, like I recited back in some of my videos, it's not a back and forth to me playing videos, because this is why we're talking about it here, right? And then I want Jamal, Ode, and TJ to give their first takes on it, right? Like I said to you in my video, when I mentioned Krayshawn, whatever her name was, from Oakland or whatever, and she got caught out there using it outside, but then came back to answer and explain, saying, well, people in my hood let me say it. So I repeat that. If your hood allows you to say it in their presence, it stays in their hood in that presence. Remember where the fuck you are as soon as you walk outside that door. I'm gonna leave my first impression on that. Jamal.
It's two different things. One, what you just said, Dan, is whatever. That doesn't give. I'm not weighing the Birdman in them. I didn't tell Terry he could talk that way. So you can't assume just because that group of folks that he was around, if it's cool around them for him to do it, that doesn't give him license to just do it in front of anybody. He's taking his, he's taking that at his own risk at that point. The difference between, I don't think we're giving people a pass if they're doing it in the film because it's a character they're playing, right? They're not walking around in their personal free time dropping N-bombs and shit like that. I mean, Mel Gibson did, and look what happened to him. You know what I mean?
Tubi movies.
Yeah. So it's it's just nuanced. The stuff it's nuanced, but you just using that word, it comes with a risk, and they just better understand that. That's just the end of that, end of story.
Oh,
I don't know. I always say, man, I always say this shit like, yo, y'all got everything, man. This is y'all world, man. Y'all want that word too? Like, goddamn, man. Fucking and for him to name drop Game and Baby and well, Birdman and Wayne, it's like I don't really care if it's Barack Obama, Jesse Jackson, John Lewis. I don't care, man. Like if that's in your circle, then okay. Now the part where you're talking about an actor, yes, I agree with you on that point. If it's a movie, even if it's wrestling, even though we kind of, when you sit and watch a movie, it's a movie. Wrestling is kind of still, it's acting, but that's still a slippery slope too. I get it, but I don't know, man. If if you're around your peoples, and you know they allow you to say that, then that's all good. You know what I'm saying? As long as so long as it doesn't catch wind outside of that. If it does, then that's on you. Then you just have to face the consequences.
Like, real quick, TJ.
I always cringe though when I hear the music.
Real quick, TJ. Like Kurt said, he said Leo was reading the script. Hulk Hogan believes he is in real life Terry Bollea and Hulk Hogan, and the way he was talking about the guy trying to date his daughter was indeed racist, not an endearment. Go ahead, TJ.
Here's what it is. They said it around their so-called circle of friends or whatever, right? These motherfuckers got way too comfortable, dogs, and they thought they could say that shit anywhere. I got a pass in the hood, and I'm good now. Nobody stamped you, dogs. Nobody stamped you. Nobody said it was okay for you to say that. Your circle? Yeah, fine. That's what goes down in your circle. There's going to be a bunch of people that let it pass in your circle. That's your circle. They know who you are. They know who you are as a person, right? You come out and say that shit on TV to another person that's not in your circle, they looking at you fucking crazy. Whoa, slow down, guy. I don't know you like that. You're not that cool. You can't be addressing yourself like that around me.
Nah,
so that's
Birdman
exactly what happened to all these people that got comfortable. I don't give a fuck about Birdman. You know what I'm saying? Birdman didn't say that shit out in the street. Birdman didn't say, yo, go on TV and, you know, the reason they didn't speak on it because it was in their circle. So yes, they allowed it to happen. So, okay, it was cool for them. We all have people like that it's cool to say certain shit within your circle. But you ain't going to say that shit at the barbecue where there's 50 other motherfuckers out there that you don't know. You might get smacked. And you shouldn't be needing a warning to be told that. You should be hey, hold on. You should know, hey, read the room and know your circle, bro. Read the fucking room and know your circle. As far as acting and all that shit is written down. They're getting paid to say that shit. All right? If you're uncomfortable with saying it, then say it then and have them change the words in the script. Or they rewrite scripts all the time during the movie. So if you don't feel if you feel a certain way or uncomfortable about saying it, then say it then. But if you're like, okay, cool, this is what you want me to say, I'm going to say it, then this is the way I'm going to act it out. But all that other shit, you don't get a pass because you outside of your circle, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. So that's where it is. You just got way too comfortable using the word.
I got a couple of things before I give it back to Tyrone, because Kurt says also Hulk Hogan is a known liar. He could be lying on Birdman, Wade, and Game. Good true point. Good true point. Brian said with Wayne, and then he was dropping the GA on that tape with the hard ER. Big difference. Now, yes, as us as a people, the GA, ER, we make it we put a differentiation behind the word, when in reality, though we kind of all say it all the time, there really is no true difference. It's just dependent on who you're amongst and how it's delivered, because there's ways of delivering it, right? But personal story of mine.
Listen,
a brother. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say real quick towards that. real quick. In his circle, if he said it the wrong way when they were around, or if they took away or to offense, he could have still got smacked right there. You know what I'm saying? They could have been like, "Yo, you cool and we allow you to say, but yo, you crossing the line here, bro." You know what I'm saying? They could have checked him right then and there. So
hold on a second, Tom. I don't want you to spin it from it just in case. Go ahead, Jamal. My bad. You look like you was about to make a point.
The word probably should be retired, number one, but there's certain folks who shouldn't long for the ability to say it.
Quentin Tarantino, he finds a way to put it in every script. But no, I wanted to give personal story, because this is a brother of mine who, if his mother knew, but let me actually set the table properly, because this is a brother of mine. He wanted to tell me a joke that he heard. I think it was from Chris Rock, thinking of like the Office shit, but I think it was from Chris Rock or something that he thought was hilarious, but the joke had the word in it. And he felt uncomfortable. He wanted to deliver the joke properly, but even felt uncomfortable. And it was just me and him in the space saying it. I said, yo.
That's out of respect to you. That's out of respect to you.
Yeah. And I said to him, it's okay. Say it because I understand it's within this joke. Said it. It's never been uttered out of his mouth again. And I say that because, again, I stand on whatever for my brother. And his mother, which is my mother, I have my own mother, but his mother's my mother. He wouldn't have even tried to do that even within the presence of his mother, because his mother would pop him in the mouth possibly too. You know what I'm saying? But it was like TJ said, it was done out of respect, not on some, now I got to pass because my best friend is. No. No. There was context to why it was done. But I know Tyrone wants to make a point, but I also want to go back and co-sign what Tyrone was truly trying to make the point of through that was, how did it slide from 2012 to 2015 when he finally got exposed for it? But I'm going to leave that there so Tyrone can make his points and we can carry on.
First, let me address the point of the whole thing about the concept of Leo saying it versus Hulk Hogan saying it. My point with that was, we separate the character from the actors if the character's bad and the character's good. Why can't we separate the characters from the actors if the character's good and the actor is bad? That was my point I was making. Like, Hulk Hogan really is not a real person. I don't care if Terry Bollea believes he's Hulk Hogan. And for that commenter that said that Terry Bollea believes he's Hulk Hogan, he doesn't. Because if he believed he's Hulk Hogan, then when he was on TV dressed up in the yellow and red as Hulk Hogan, he would have said nigga then. He didn't. Because he knows there's a difference between Hulk Hogan saying the N-word and him as himself saying the N-word. He knows that. Hulk Hogan ain't never said nigga on TV because he knows. He's conscious that there's a difference between Hulk Hogan and the real man that he is at home. That's all I'm saying.
Because Hulk Hogan signs the checks. Hulk Hogan signs the checks, brother. That's why.
It's still making
Hulk Hogan signs the checks.
It's still a conscious decision, bro.
Yeah. It's the conscious, like I've been quoting the past few weeks. It's the conscious decision, like Marshawn Lynch says, to protect your chicken.
Right.
To protect your chicken. But hold on real quick. But again, even as wrestling fans, and it shouts to Brian saying, Booker T said it. There's a difference. There's a difference. And
look at you got me doing that here, Gene. Look at you got me doing that here, Gene.
And Hogan was stewing in the back on that one, like, ooh, this nigga right here. This nigga right here. But the difference is TJ mentioned it by way of like, but Hulk Hogan signs those checks. The difference is, yes, the wrestling persona is a character, but we understand in these times that word of kayfabe. Wrestlers, especially wrestlers of his era, from when he started in the 70s to the 80s, they carried kayfabe in and out the arena. I guarantee you, Birdman, Wayne, and Game wasn't calling him Terry Bollea. They were calling that motherfucker Hulk Hogan.
Birdman, Game, and Wayne were calling him Hulk Hogan. He wasn't being Hulk Hogan. You think he was in there going, let me tell you something, brother, eat your train in your present while he was in there with them? No. He was in there chilling, being Terry. He wasn't being Hulk Hogan in that room. He wasn't going, let me tell you something, brother. He wasn't putting nobody in the fucking headlock in there.
Okay, but again, I understand what you're saying, but once again, when these dudes are getting the right to hang out with, I know, keep it up, my nigga. these dudes are getting the right to hang out with somebody perceived to be a childhood idol. Do you think they're saying, yo, this is my nigga Terry? Nah, this is my nigga Hulk Hogan.
Nah.
You get what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying.
Fact.
Like, this is my nigga Hulk Hogan.
But I'm saying he wasn't being Hulk Hogan, though.
Hulk Hogan was out there chilling with all the rappers in Miami that gave him the pass in that circle.
Right. You weren't gonna say, oh, there's Wayne, Terry, and Birdman. You're not saying that. You're saying there's Wayne, Hulk Hogan, and Birdman.
Like, who the fuck is Terry?
You ain't saying, oh, there's Terry. You didn't say
Don't get on me for some bullshit though, because I don't call him Terry.
Hey, Terry, what's going on?
That was Dan and Brian that was calling him Terry. I said, don't call that motherfucker Terry. So don't act like I'm calling him Terry. I don't call him Terry. I call him all the time.
Right.
Nobody's calling him Terry, dog.
Dan calls him Terry.
His mama named him Terry. I'm calling him Terry.
Here you go with the bullshit.
Because he said, Kurt said NWO Hogan and Red and Yellow Hogan are two different Hogans. He's probably cool NWO Hogan when not in front of the cameras. That could possibly be, but once again, if those ciphers gave Hulk Hogan the pass to say nigga around them, the nigga said nigga.
All right.
But the problem. Go ahead.
Hulk Hogan, my theory on Hulk Hogan getting a pass to say nigga was not based on Lil Wayne, Game, or Birdman giving him that pass at all. They can give him that pass. He can say it with them. My problem is Hulk Hogan told all of us in that interview, he didn't say Lil Wayne allowed me to say nigga. In that interview, he said nigga. Throughout the interview, Hulk Hogan said the actual word nigga during that interview on like 6 times. And that interview was conducted by a black popular DJ. And when that DJ said, why you think you can say the word nigga? He said, oh, Lil Wayne and all them dudes let me say nigga, so I say nigga, right? Now, I'm saying that up until that point, yeah, he was using Lil Wayne and Birdman and all those people to give him a pass. But once he said that once he said that in that interview in front of DJ Who Kid, who broadcast that interview on audio medias and video medias. Once he said that to a black man in front of his face during his interview on audio and video medias, why did 2013, 2014, and 2015 all come after 2012? Nobody said nothing.
Because he wasn't comfortable. He got comfortable. And that's why he said it during the Who Kid interview. He got comfortable. Right. He got comfortable and he thought he was in a safe space. He thought this was part of the circle, and he could say that. That's why. TJ,
you're making my point, right? He was comfortable saying it with Lil Wayne in them, right? He was comfortable saying it on DJ Who Kid's interview, right? But that interview was public. Right. But once he said it there, Hulk Hogan's mind, everybody knows I say nigga now. So don't you think his comfortability went way the fuck up? And especially when 3 years went by and nobody checked him on it.
But he said everybody. Who's everybody? Because everybody is. He said everybody, which means everybody behind the scenes in his circle was. No, he says it. He wasn't saying that shit.
He said it publicly in that interview. That's
right. But those guys. But those guys didn't co-sign and stamp and say, "Hey, go out and spread nigga to the masses." They didn't give him that pass. They didn't give him that pass. They didn't give him that pass to say nigga to everybody.
They didn't give him the pass to say it to everybody, but he said it to everybody. He said in that interview that was a public interview, and nobody checked him on it for 3 years. Nobody said nothing. They let that man get away with it.
Does it matter though? So he said it. And now he paid the price for it. Does it matter when he said it?
No,
Jamal. See, I want pause for a second because that's what I wanted to throw. That's what I wanted to throw to you next, Jamal. And then was number one. That doesn't mean it was okay that it was said, but the thing that I made clear in my video responses was we're forgetting once again as we throughout this whole conversation today. We were discussing how we all thought differently in eras, right? The Black Lives Matter movement that we know about today, which is totally different from when it started, was started in 2013. So we can consider and generalize and say that was a year after that Who Kid interview. We were thinking totally different then. You could take a look at when Twitter started back in whatever, 09, 2010, whatever the case was. It was the Wild West then. But as more people started to join the platforms and more people started to present different ideas, certain sensitivities, we all started to think differently as people and as communities, to where when it came out in 2015, by way of being leaked because of a whole situation with Bubba the Love Sponge, his ex-best friend, giving him the pass to bang his wife, mind you, and in conversation while the phone call was being recorded, upset that Brooke was dating a black dude, and then said, "I don't want my daughter dating no niggers." And then
wait a minute, run it back.
Yeah.
He gave him a free pass.
Yeah.
He gave him a free pass to smash his wife, bro.
He banged his best friend, Bubba the Love, at the time, Bubba the Love Sponge's wife.
Oh,
And it's context too. Context and time. Because I didn't hear the first I heard of Hulk Hogan doing that shit was the Bubba the Love Sponge thing. So
yeah, I didn't know about the Who Kid.
Yeah.
I didn't know the Who Kid shit until Tyrone mentioned it on this video. I didn't know either. But hold on. No. We got you. Your point is set in stone.
We got you.
But the situ. But again, if you have to look at the eras that we live, and I'm trying to build the timeline to show you, we started to think differently as a people. And so what he got passes for, and yes, on a live platform with DJ Who Kid, who clearly didn't, he took the approach of, I'm getting to sit with Hulk Hogan. I used to sit and watch this guy on TV. I said my prayers. I ate my vitamins. Yo, I'm getting to sit. Yo, this is Hulk Hogan. The problem within that to me is when people put fucking celebrities on a pedestal and forget you're regular human beings just like the rest of us. And that usually what gets fucking celebrities' brains clouded, because that's the pass that people give them. People be giving celebrities too many passes, Jamal. But what the point I was trying to make to throw to you and then the O was, we thought differently. We thought differently over time to where it might, like we mentioned earlier, shit that might have got swept under the rug, shit that might have got signed off by NDAs and what statutes of limitations and things like that. Them moments changed. Them things changed. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. That applies.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
But I'm a little confused as to the whole we thought differently thing. Because so are you saying in 2012 that we thought it was cool for Hulk Hogan?
No. Let Jamal speak, because I never said once that it was ever cool. Go ahead.
Yeah. So some things don't have an expiration date, or Trump that we thought differently then. Like there's no time and place besides Jim Crow where Hulk Hogan could have said that and gotten away with it. Again, I didn't, like I said, I didn't know about the DJ Who Kid joint until you brought it up, Ty. So I was just going off, my frame of reference was from the Bubba the Love Sponge joint with his wife and all that stuff, and he didn't want his daughter around black dude. That's why I heard it. And from jump, I was like, oh, Hulk Hogan is dead. Hulk Hogan is dead. It's just, it's just Terry now. So I don't. If I would have heard the Who Kid interview first, I'd have felt the same way. It's like, yo, why are you dropping? I don't care. I don't care who gave you permission to say it. That's not cool with me. You know what I mean? It doesn't give him the open door to just be dropping that because somebody told him he could do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I made the comparison when you bought before with Leo. Leo ain't running around saying it. At least I hope not. He's not running around saying that in his actual life. You know what I mean? So he's saying it as Calvin Candy, who the character is a racist slave owner in Mississippi. You know what I mean? In a piece of of written
It was a period piece. It was a period piece.
Yeah. So, but that's just it for me. There's never no good time for Terry to do that. And I was a huge Hulk Hogan fan, and I'm also the type to say, people do dumb shit. We all do dumb shit. We all say dumb things. You gotta forgive and forget. We're all different shades of gray. We're human beings. So, should we crucify him for the rest of his life? No. Am I gonna fuck with him the way I used to? Probably not. But I didn't whenever he made his comebacks, I never turned off the TV. I watched him, and stuff like that. So that's that's my own personal sliding scale or moralities. That's how I run with it.
Oh,
yeah, no, I agree. I agree with Jamal. I also didn't hear the hookah thing till today, but I knew about the whole Bubba the Lunch Bunch incident. Yeah, it goes back to that sliding scale morality that we've been alluding to all show, man. Some things we're cool, some things we're cool with, some things we're not. That's basically break it all the way down. Yeah, man, that's pretty much it.
Let me ask you guys a question, right? You guys are five guys here on this platform. 5 guys that were involved in the hip hop world. 5 guys that are part of the hip hop culture. We listen to rap music. We know all the things hip hop, right? Why do y'all think that none of y'all heard that Who Kid interview in 2012 when Who Kid at the time was the mixtape DJ host? Who Kid at the time was a big name in hip hop that did a live audio and video interview that 4 hip hop heads on this panel didn't hear us. And I'll tell you why.
No. You can't tell me why I didn't hear it.
Hold on. I'm going to tell you why you didn't hear it. I'm going to tell you why y'all didn't know about it. I do know. Because Lil Wayne was mentioned. Birdman was mentioned. Game was mentioned. All of these hip-hop dudes were mentioned in that interview. Who Kid conducted the interview, and they didn't want to have to answer for why they let Hulk Hogan say nigga. So guess what? The rug the interview was swept away. Then tell me why y'all didn't hear it. Tell me why.
I don't listen to Who Kid or watch anything with Who Kid in it.
Nah, I don't fuck with Who Kid like that. I don't fuck with Who Kid like that to listen to his interviews, bro.
And I ain't have XM. I ain't have Sirius to even know about it.
But hold on. So XM was out. Facebook was out. All of these things were out. All these media platforms was out. Who Kid was popular at the time. So a bunch of black people heard this interview. Y'all trying to act like nobody heard it.
Tyrone, it's not an act like. We're giving you our answer that you don't want to hear our answer. No, but we're telling you we didn't hear it.
No, what I'm saying to y'all, though, for me, the reason why the reason why there was no outrage, the reason why there was no punishment for Hogan, the reason why 3 years went by since this interview and nothing happened to him was because I'm saying in my statement, in my opinion, that the rug was lifted up and everybody who had the ability to sweep this under the rug kept it from us. Because there's no way, even if y'all didn't listen to Who Kid, somebody that had XM would have said, yo, Dan, y'all heard that video? So I'm saying that this thing was swept under the rug to protect. It wasn't to protect Hulk Hogan. It may have been to protect the black folks, but in turn, Hulk Hogan is sitting at home not realizing what's going on. And he's in his head saying, I done said nigga to 97,000 people. And nobody's going to do nothing about it. So now I'm saying that gave him a path to run with saying that.
Let me stop you from digging your hole further, because that's your point of view, your perspective, your opinion. Around 2012, with the exception of Big O, most of us, TJ, myself, and Jamal was definitely in the same circles of HHDG. We shared all this type of shit like this, and I can almost certify this shit never really made it through our ciphers to where we did not know about it. I'm telling you. So it can be perceived as it was swept under the rug. I'm not saying you're
they buried that shit.
I'm not saying that that's exact. You're putting a stamp on it like this is exactly what happened. I'm not going fully there. I'm not calling it that it was swept under the rug.
Hold on. Well, then answer the question, right? If it wasn't swept under the rug, then how come people involved in hip hop, when a prominent hip hop DJ did it, didn't know about it? And I'm not saying,
Because
okay, y'all don't listen to him.
Stop. You're getting long-winded again. Jamal answered it a second ago.
No,
Because
that's
many
not
of
the way
us he answered it. Many of us
No.
didn't fuck with Who Kid.
Listen, y'all not.
No, I'm
listen.
giving
All right,
you
listen
the
to this. Listen to this.
No, he's saying
He's
about in other rappers step up and shit.
Stop. Go ahead.
Here's what I want to say. DJ Who Kid was popular. He did an interview. Now, you, Dan, me, a whole bunch of people don't listen to him. That's fine, right? But Hulk Hogan saying nigga on DJ Who Kid's interview is a hot topic. So that should have circulated through all the hip hop circles, whether you listen to them or not, because that's a smoking hot topic. That would have been the biggest topic in 2012. It should have been. So for all these hip hop heads and all these black people saying they never heard it, it's ridiculous to me, because that's a smoking hot topic for a famous, popular black DJ. So for that interview to not be heard in 2012 is ridiculous. So you explain to me why.
How many people in 2012 had XM radio?
Interview for a popular black DJ didn't get circulated. Explain to me why.
How many people in 2012 had XM radio? Nobody I know. And if they did, they got it for the free 3-month trial. I was selling cars back then.
Yeah.
So I know about the whole XM radio shit. It was a free trial for 3 months. If you barely listened to it, and if you happen to catch it at the right time that interview was being posted, you might have said something. But 9 times out of 10, nobody was paying attention to that shit.
And Tyrone,
nobody was paying attention to that shit.
To the point you're trying to make, which you've made your point. It's clear. You strongly believe that it was swept under the rug. That's fine that you believe that way. But once again, if motherfuckers ain't checking for it, motherfuckers ain't checking for it. And like, I wasn't giving love to Facebook users. Anybody that comes up as Facebook user, if you're under Facebook user, StreamYard.com/Facebook, so we know who you are. But they said the receipts are public record. Fans of pro wrestling just shrugged their shoulders. That was fans of pro wrestling, and that more happened around the Bubba the Love Sponge incident. Okay. But the Who Kid shit, once again, it's very easy for some shit like that to go under the rug, because not everybody is checking for everything. And it's just because Who Kid is in the hip hop space, that doesn't mean I'm a fan of fucking Who Kid, that I need to know about that I need to check for that. Yes, popular DJ, world's most popular professional wrestler. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that I had to go check for that, or even the people amongst my timelines at that time. I don't remember nobody sharing that. That's where it can come as an oversight. You've made your point when you keep saying my point.
You shouldn't have had to check for it. You shouldn't have had to check for it.
But this is what I agree with you. To what you're saying, you think that we shouldn't have had to check for it. But once again, if I'm telling you nobody along my timeline was sharing it, then how could I check for it?
Bro, you're saying shit, and 4 of us never heard the interview.
Right.
We're 4 out of a panel of 5 that never heard this interview.
The point is this.
No. So you don't think that it's crazy? So you don't think that it's crazy that Hulk Hogan repeatedly said nigga in an interview and nobody?
No. I'd say he got too comfortable.
No, and nobody checked for it. But then when a little small video of him came out of him saying it at home in privacy, it went crazy.
Because that was a different era. That was a different time. That was a different era.
It was only 3 years different.
But 3 years. Like I mentioned when I broke it down before, a 1 year timeline difference. We were thinking differently. Like I said, we're all black. Of course, our lives always mattered to us. But now in 2013, we got to telling people, no, you all need to start respecting us. That's a different mindset and wavelength of thinking.
You know what? Tyrone may have a point in one way, and what I think it's the packaging of the offense. All right, one of the offenses, if he already got this co-signature from Wayne and all them, it's not gonna move the meter as him fucking his best friend's wife, bro. And that's probably why it's the packaging. It's the packaging that came in, and that's probably why.
But Jamal, though, in some way, we in how we've talked so far, we explained that part. But again, like TJ said, because of that cipher in that circle, he got comfortable enough to think that he could. Oh, I'm in a hip hop space. I'm around my niggas again. I'm gonna say it. You know what I'm saying?
He got way too comfortable, though.
To Tyrone. The point that I made again in said videos that I made, and to the way that you're even throwing it out there now, with the whole 3-year difference situation, it makes me revert back to, though it's different types of scenarios, it gives me the vibe of when men try to check women and be like, well, what made you take so long to talk about this person who assaulted you? That's the vibe that the conversation gives.
But then, okay, I can end that vibe right now. I'm not asking why did it take so long for him to get caught. I'm saying that.
Listen.
No, come out. I'm not asking why it took so long. I'm not asking. You're saying that I'm saying like if a woman gets assaulted, why did it take so long to say something about it? That's not what I'm saying.
You didn't let me fully clarify because I knew what you were saying. Because the point that
what am I saying? I don't think you do.
Yes, I do. Because the point that you were trying to make was not him, but us as a people. We looked at, because you made that clear in one of your videos. Us as a people, why did we wait from 2012 to 2015?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not asking the question, why did we wait for 2012 to 2015 before we got him in trouble? I'm not asking that question. I'm saying to you, I know why. The reason why he didn't get in trouble from 2012 to 2015 is because the shit was swept under the rug. I'm not asking why did it take so long. I'm saying that the reason why it happened and the reason why he got that 3-year pass is not, I'm not asking why did it take so long. I know why. The reason why it took so long is because
so they buried it then. They buried it so we wouldn't hear it.
They buried it.
No, but again,
they buried it.
I understood. I understood that because that was the point you made from just a few minutes ago, was that you believe that it was buried, but we're telling you we've just never even heard of it from then. We've never even heard of it from then. And you're standing on that you believe that it was buried. And that's okay. That's your facts. You know what I'm saying? That's your facts. That you believe it was buried. And it very well could be. But I can't call it that personally because I never even heard of that interview in the first place.
Because they buried it.
I've never heard about it in the first place. No, Ed, you missed the point.
They did right.
Ed, you missed the point, Ed, even though it was being clicked across. Hogan's case wasn't in an interview. His friends secretly taped him and blackmailed him. That's not the point we're talking. That was the point when it finally came out. And that moment is why he got that $100+ million lawsuit. As he said, it was a part of the Gawker case that cost them dearly. They went broke because Hogan sued them for what? Almost $150 million and won. But Tyrone brought up that he said this in an interview back in 2012. And so for you, Tyrone, what point I'm also trying to say is you educated a lot of us on it. Because a lot of us didn't even know about the interview period. So yes, in these times, it could look like, yes, it got swept under the rug. It definitely can look like that. I'm not putting it all there, but it can look like that, and it can be perceived that way because we just learned about it. I just learned about it this week. These brothers just learned about it today. but the other shit came out. The other shit came out. But part of the portioning within this conversation was not the fighting fully of the whole thing. It's the whole passes.
Getting a pass.
Because we can spin this to Bill Cosby in a way. And it's like, we'll look at Bill Cosby as, whatever he did, he probably did that shit. And then when we think about the eras, we think about the times, the 60s, the 70s, and the times that he was coming up in. That was the shit which we talked about in the previous conversation today. The eras they came up in, that's what they did. And certain people kept their mouths shut and just took it as this is what it is at this time. We just got to play ball. But then we looked at a Cosby as what he did for Black folks as a whole in those times, what he did for HBCUs with the creations of A Different World and things like that, what he did for colleges by way of wearing different sweatshirts during the shows and putting different things on the map and seeing little important things like that, to where it's like he's important to the culture, but he was also a terror behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like with Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was mega important to the wrestling business.
Can I ask you one question?
A terror behind the scenes, if you could kind of say.
And so my final point was, why are now that Hulk Hogan got in trouble for it in the interview, the DJ Who Kid interview actually came out, because Who Kid spin the block on it and said that he didn't think that what Hulk Hogan was saying during that interview was racist. And so why is it now that I said it on TikTok and I was being...
It's because...
Why is it that when I said it on TikTok, people was all in the uproar on me, snapping out on me, making videos and doing all the bullshit? Why nobody not asking Lil Wayne or Birdman or Game or none of them? Why they not getting about this?
Because
why they not getting held accountability for it?
It's because it's several things. Okay, it goes back to eras, like everybody was saying. It's the same shit with sports. You can't compare athletes of the 90s and the early 90s to the middle 2000s, because the era was different. The rules changed. The game changed. So, so that's why it's not it was never acceptable. But like I said, he got comfortable in his circle, and he got comfortable around us, and he thought it was okay. That's why. That's the only reason. You get too comfortable and you say some shit. You've been around a girl. We all been around a girl we got too comfortable with and said some wild shit. And they looked at you like, what, nigga? No, it's over after that. It's over after that. You ain't getting a call, text, nothing. So the situation. You know the deal. You didn't get stamped you didn't get that permission from that person to say that, or felt that you could be that comfortable around that person to say whatever it is you say. And each person's going to take it differently. But in the eras and times of what and context of when he said it and where he said it at is different than it is right now in 2023, almost 2024. You can't, it's never right, but like you can't get comfortable and think somebody's giving you a pass to say that shit when they didn't.
But TJ,
that's the whole deal.
To answer Tyrone's question of, but why did he get all the heat? Is something that I explained in said video. Was that his delivery, Tyrone's delivery, was fucked up. It was how you delivered it. I'll play it again, and then you can read through it. No, pause. Let me finish. Let me finish. Your delivery was fucked up because you put it out there and leaving that state of confusion of, I'm not giving him a pass. I'm not doing this. But then you made yourself look like you were caping for him by way of bringing up the DJ Who Kid interview. And then the whole standing on, I'm not calling him Terry Bollea. I'm calling him Hulk Hogan. That's what I grew up on. So it made it look like No, fuck that. I still keep Hulk Hogan up here while fuck Terry Bollea down here.
No,
But it's the same fucking person. It's the same person.
No, it's not.
It's the same person.
Yes, it is. Nobody's out there calling Terry in the streets, dog. Nobody.
Yeah, I think once at the height of Hulk Hogan, it was the same person. Maybe now that you know, it's no more. You know, I'm not gonna say no more Hulk Hogan, but now he's not as popular of a figure as he was. You know, saying maybe now it's he can differentiate the two, but back then, like early to early 80s, mid 90s, yeah.
Yeah, but we talking about 2015. We ain't talking about back then. We talking about 2015.
Well, right, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He was still Hulk Hogan, dog.
Right. He was
and
Hulk
especially
Hogan.
2015, 2012, people didn't even know his name was Terry Bollea. Some people, all they knew was Hulk Hogan.
Was Hulk Hogan, yeah.
That's why I want to call him Hulk. If I want to call him a racist, I'm not going to say Terry Bollea is a racist and have everybody go, who? No, I'm going to say Hulk Hogan.
See, we can have a piece of conversation on that word there, because I don't view it as that was like a systemic move to keep people. That was bigot. Wrong or wrong, Jamal? That was bigoted.
Hey, I ain't jumping off that bridge.
It was his true self, and that's the bottom line. He was speaking in his true self and his true voice, and that's the difference of everything. Now, if you cool with that, like Birdman and them is, okay, that's you. But for the rest of us, that was a red line.
Yeah.
Right. And it like Ed said, he said Hogan eats disdain from guys like New Day because of his comments. Within the industry, they know what's what. And that's also part because of the person behind the scenes that used to hold people down as far as coming up within the business. You know what I'm saying? Stories like that have been out for years. Those kind of stories, more than, you know. But then again, we'll look at the person. It's like, oh, we'll say, how could he be racist when he used to run around with Mr. T and, like you mentioned, freaking, you know, the whole Birdman, Lil Wayne, and all that shit. Once again, it goes back to, well, who the fuck are they to tell me to give him a pass? Who the fuck are they to tell you to accept that we accept him saying it around us? They're not saying you need to accept it too. Like TJ mentioned before, you gotta read
stand on that shit.
Sometimes. Exactly. They didn't send it to me in like an email or some shit. we got a fucking newsletter. Hulk Hogan gets to say nigga around. News at 12.
He's good. He's invited to the barbecue. Hulk Hogan is invited to the barbecue. It's all good. It's all good.
I would have liked for Lil Wayne or Game or Birdman or one of them other rappers that he named to be able to defend their stance, though. I would have liked to see them be called out about it. I would like to see them stand on it if they really wanted to stand on. You know what I mean? I wanted to see that, and that's kind of where I'm angry at. It's like, why didn't y'all make them stand on it? Why nobody ain't say, "Hey, Lil Wayne, you told Hulk Hogan he could say nigga"?
Yeah,
right, and that was the point I tried to get to earlier. That's what it was your delivery that fucked it all up, but you were trying to ultimately say, yo, y'all, like, nah, how did y'all let this get past you? How did y'all let this get past you? That's what you were trying to say, but you carried it out in a way that made you look like I'm waving the red and yellow pom-poms for Hulk Hogan.
But also, Dan, you gotta understand this too, right? I'm one of those dudes that really gotta like, I gotta say things in a certain way to get people to like fuck with me a little bit. So I knew a little bit. I was trying to figure out a good balance to say it in a fucked up way, but to like keep it cool too. I wanted, because I kind of did want some smoke from it, because this is what we do, right? We gotta advertise, right? We gotta get people to come listen to us. We gotta get people to interact with it. So I wanted a little bit of smoke. I just didn't want to start a fire. I didn't want to burn the barn down. You know what I mean? So that's where it got a little bit fucked up.
Right. But again, shout out to Brian going off of the newsletter we were supposed to get sent. Dear members of the Black delegation, Terry is applying for his N-word pass. Please RSVP with a yes or no for approval.
I think yeah.
But again, it was to try, because like I told you on said video, I read through what you were saying. I understood. You had that level of troll, and like I said, we're supposed to be starting a fucking wrestling podcast, and this is the way you want to jump out the fucking window? This is the way you want to jump out the window?
I was dying.
You took a long way to build to the point that you were ultimately trying to make from the first video. But the first video, it was the way I said it to you like this. If you built the first video the right way, you'd have never had to come back with second and third videos to further explain and expand on what you were trying to say. If you delivered it properly the first time, there is no coming back to, I was trying to say this, I was trying to say that. No, you would have laid it out in the same message. Am I wrong, people? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong, but it directed people. It still worked out because it gave me an opportunity to direct people to the podcast. It gave you an opportunity to direct people to the podcast, and I got the smoke that I deserved, and I got my ass got burnt a little bit, and I deserved that too. So it all worked out. Yeah.
Right. Like you said, I mean, arsonists start with a bit of smoke. Where's the smoke? There's fire. I mean, it's true, and if that was the mission and plan that you was trying to start, mission accomplished.
Just like that Voltron slander.
Word. Mission accomplished.
Some things are
the point in all of this conversation was like, yeah, we continue to expand on the Hogan aspect of things or whatever. But point is who the fuck is somebody else outside of your circles to give somebody a pass to do some shit? They should know better. But and Big O shaking his head, if your hood gave you the pass to do something that you know is not right outside of your hood, what are you doing?
I have enough sense to keep that shit in the fucking hood. I'm
That's
not gonna go outside. I'm not gonna go outside and fucking Nah, I ain't doing that.
So I had a situation like that exactly happened to me, right? I was in college and we were in I forgot, we was in the class president's office or whatever, right? And everybody in there is darker than me. So me being my young self at the time was nigga this, nigga that, nigga this, nigga that, right? And one black dude got offended. It was like, if this Spanish motherfucker says nigga one more time, I'm gonna smack him. And they was like, no, chill. TJ's black. And he was like, what? He was like, no, TJ's black. Like he's black. I don't know why, how you missed it, but TJ's black. And he was like, that nigga's black? And then he was like, so I get it because he felt like I was invading the safe space, you know what I'm saying, where we could talk freely amongst each other. And I didn't find out till later. Somebody came to me later and was like, yo, dude wanted to smack you because you were saying nigga too much. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, nah, he didn't think you were black. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. So it's crazy that happened, but like, it's like nobody stamped and gave me an approval to be like, oh, nigga this, nigga that, or willy-nilly. You know what I'm saying? Because people feel a kind of way about it. So I get it. But like he said, like I was saying earlier, read the room, understand your context and who you're talking to. But Wayne and them niggas, motherfucker. Oh, here we go. Wayne and them niggas.
You done dropped 162 niggas in this episode, bro.
Wayne and them niggas didn't openly say, hey, man, you're free to say it, wherever you want now. And the Hulk Hogan got too comfortable because he didn't understand that it was cool to be able to say that just anywhere, anytime. That's what it was. It was a comfortability.
He said the Puerto Rican delegation drafted TJ and he missed the memo. But it rolls right back to what TJ said. It rolls right back to what Brian said. Dear members of the Black delegation, Terry, pass. Please RSVP with a yes or no for approval. But all in all, if you're gonna be a fucking idiot, know where to be an idiot. You know, because this conversation could go even further. Because because people have had history with Latinos saying and stuff like that too. But yet, once again, how did you grow up? Where were you at? How large was the circles? How, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then perspective wise, like some of us view in certain, a lot of people had shout outs to Gorilla Nems, one of my favorite rappers, but a lot of people mistakenly had big problems. But he's Puerto Rican. He's Irish and Puerto Rican, but he's Puerto Rican.
They said the same thing about Fat Joe.
Right. And it's things like that. And it's just it can get too convoluted to add on to more now, but I think we built enough. I think we built this whole conversation to lead into this enough the right way.
Okay. One thing though, right? I had a white friend of mine who I was talking to about this, and he was like, I get it, I understand, because I understand all the things about that word. And I said, no, you don't. And he didn't understand. I told him, I said, it's not one word that I can say that's racist towards you white folks that y'all really would understand. And he goes, oh, there is. You guys can say some racist word. And I'm asking you guys, what's the racist white word? Because there ain't one. They don't care about honky or cracker. And they're the only two I know.
Right. But then again,
moral of the story is
it's give the moral after this though, TJ, because once again, it's the difference between racist and bigoted. And they use the word racist gets thrown around for everything that's realistically bigoted. People miss that point. That point flies over many of people's heads. People use the word racist to cover when they're really trying to say bigoted. Because do those people hold any kind of real
moral of the story? Keep that shit.
Go ahead.
Right. Moral of the story is keep that shit within your circle. If it ain't cool outside your circle, don't say it. Period. I don't have to know that you say it. Nobody has to know how you say it. When you around your friends, it was a whole thing like with Louis C.K. and Chris Rock and Seinfeld and all of them. It was like he was around his peers and he was comfortable saying that word around them. That doesn't mean it was cool for him to say it around nobody else but them. That's all it boils down to. You can't get comfortable enough where you feel that you can just brazenly tout that word as like you're one of us. You're not. You'll never. White people, here's a lesson. Don't say that shit outside your immediate circle. That's it.
See,
keep that shit within.
That spins into another layer though. Because I'm trying to find a way that we can wrap this up, but that spins into another layer though, because there are white comedians that say it within their act, but generally it's generally crafted around a well-written joke that has context attached to it, to where it's not generally said all the time. But like that's Louis C.K. The ginger Mexican should have kept that between his friends. A lot of people don't know that Louis C.K. ain't white. But and then too, within that circle of it was caught on video.
Right.
Once again, like Hulk Hogan. But this one was more public than the secretly taped shit. You know what I'm saying? The secretly taped shit. But generally, there's comedians that will only use it in the context of a joke, and generally the joke is well written. Morally we could say that you could still leave it out. but sometimes it leans into that punchline to where it's like, if you can understand comedy and just understand the comedic context it's placed in, it's kind of a different, Jamal, I don't know if you agree or not, but it's kind of a different level of pass in a way.
Comedy is always a different level of pass. And, I hate censoring comedians. But just like most things, it's your delivery and how you say it and context. But comedy is a whole different lane. It's a whole separate conversation, because comedy is supposed to be a safe space of views and humor, man. And so I hate I hate legislating comedy, but I think it's a separate conversation.
Brian said George
Carlin. You're right.
Brian said George Carlin was the only white comedian I see to say it without any issue. Because George Carlin, besides the whole barbecue pass, besides the whole barbecue pass, George Carlin, if he did say it, there was a level of intelligence behind it, and it was within reasoning of the joke. Again, he wasn't out there, and two, he was out there fighting the good fight with people,
right,
and the government, and against
It's like Jamal said, comedy crosses many different boundaries that people think are done in bad taste or just sour on general opinion. So that's just like the landscape where you can kind of get away with saying crazy shit in a sense of comedy, but outside of that, it'd be taken completely different.
But you see how TJ almost slipped up in bad taste of genital opinion. and on that note, I think we tied. I think we done. Yo, this was what I expected it to be. No hate, no nothing. See, Tyrone, you didn't have to get stitched on this one because we laid it right into your face. In your face.
That sounds hateful. That sounds a little hateful.
Not at all.
Are you gaslighting me?
It was just not. We had to bring it back to the Hall of Justice, aka the Hall of Just Us, and hash it out with the brother to let you know you was right and where you was wrong. And we still walk away like men, as we say, we put the beer up, bong, cheers and all that. And it's what it was. But like TJ said, the moral of the fucking story is don't bring that shit outside your circle. Stupid. Big O, you know what to do.
Thanks.
You was late. You know what to do.
Yeah, I was, man. My bad, man. I was asleep, man. I'll be honest with you.
Shout out to Uncle Nearest and them.
Shout out to Uncle Nearest, man. Yo. Yeah, they will start getting my money from now on, man. But great show, man. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the back and forth, man. Different views on this opinion. None of us probably gonna stop using the word nigga because it's our word, man. So that's just what it is. No, man, but great show, man. Great show. I enjoyed this, man. Shout out to the listeners. Shout out to all of our friends that chimed in. Can't wait till next week, man. Pass it on to Jamal.
Yo, great show, y'all. What's up, Facebook world? Happy to be back. Good show, y'all. Peace up, Big O, to the listener for stirring the pot as usual. Love it. TJ and the mayor. Peace to Ishtar, Disabled Planets, and what's the last one? Oh shit! What's Big O's favorite album? What was it?
Ill Magic.
Ill Magic.
Ill Magic. Yeah. Ill Magic.
I've been giving you shout outs on your absence.
All right, that's what's up.
Tyrone.
I want to just say that I'm happy for platforms where I can actually come on and defend myself and be allowed to stand on my business and be allowed to, get the fire and get my, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. It's all good, but I like to have that forum where I can say what I need to say and get some feedback. That it's always enjoyable. It's always fun time here. I like the fact that TJ shit be fucking up, and so that be giving me the hooks box back. You gotta reboot. I get the hooks back. So yo, keep that Wi-Fi jack, dog, because this is my box. I appreciate that. Yeah, we had a good time, and that's what it is. And like I said, the discourse, disagreeing, not yelling, moving furniture, whatever we gotta do, it always comes back to laughing and smiling and being cool at the end. And that's the main thing. And I do also want to say, shout out to the fans that showed up today, because I had a lot more people talking a lot more shit, and I had a lot more people that said they were going to show up to rectify the situation. They didn't. So for the ones that really showed up, glad to be 100. Thanks for keeping it real, and see you next time.
Yeah. Another good show. This was great. This was great conversation. Ty keeps dragging that aluminum chair around so he can get beat over the head with it. So I appreciate that. He likes when motherfuckers jump off the top rope and smash his head off with the chair.
He runs with instead of the free hug sign, it's the free chair shot.
He calls for the abuse every week. I love it, and it makes for great conversation and a great show, great entertainment. So I appreciate all that. Shout out to all the people in the comments today: Brian, Ed, Curtis. Yo, thanks for coming through and giving your opinions and keeping it funny. This was another dope show. Oh, JG, Big Dan. This was great. This is what keeps me coming every week, and I love it. So yeah, as long as we keep doing this, it'll never die. So I'm loving it.
TJ threw back out one of my high school names. This is only the high school folks called me Big Dan, because I was always the biggest. But yeah, yo, big ups to everybody. Welcome back, Facebook. I didn't really miss the place, but fuck it. I wanted to see the world burn. That's why I came back. But yeah, now we're going to keep coming back to here, man. I thank y'all for the participation for sure. The viewers went up just by coming back to Facebook, because I guess, typing in another few characters in a different browser was hard to do with YouTube and all. But I digress. Yeah, hooksrub.com has been our sponsor now for most of this year. Some of the best seasonings in the world, made by a black man from Texas who lives in Utah. So you got to support one of 5 black men in Utah.
White Wakanda, you called it, right?
Go to Hook. Yeah, that's it. That's Harry Spears calls it the white man's Africa. But
go to Hook. Say that, Dan.
Harry Spears himself, the comedian said it. And like you said, go to hooksrub.com, use our code starting5 for 20% off your order. Help the brother Jared out. Go also give hashtag Blackout Podcast a shout out too while you're at it. But yeah, man, this was dope. This was exactly what I expected it to be. Tyrone once again says he wants wins, but we always humble the brother each and every episode with love. With love.
He's gonna get a W one day. We like Charlie Brown when Lucy pulls the ball away from him when he's going to kick it right now. That's where Tyrone is.
We hit it with the Geico commercial. Oh no, you gotta be quicker than that.
Gotta be a little quicker than that.
But it's all, like you said though, it's all good. This was a dope, nice 2 hour, almost 2:30. But this is what we do. This is what we've been doing. But you niggas haven't been coming to YouTube. But fuck with us on YouTube. Fuck with us back on Facebook. All the other streaming platforms. We've been around. Next year is 9 years for the Starting 5 podcast. And once again, we're the real Starting 5 podcast. Because I just sent the brothers a message a celebrity started to name his show the Starting Five Podcast because they're talking basketball, and celebrity can get celebrity names, talents, whatever. Who cares? You tried, you did it. I have documented proof, even though I never legally went to get the name. This has been us forever, and it'll be us forever until I can't say until we say we're done. Even though I almost quit a couple times, but this ain't dying like TJ said. This it's too easy for this to not die ever. So until then, we'll be out. We'll say peace, and we'll see you monkey fuckers next week.
Peace.